All right, JuddzBudz, episode 118. The Wayne Gretzky plus. Was Pat Maroon 19 this year? Something like that. Pat Maroon episode. Who cares?
He was 20, wasn't he?
I don't know. Probably. I forget who was number 19. Doesn't matter. I've been awake for like 2 seconds. Whatever. No one cares. That's not why we're here. As always, host Spoke C, joined by my good buddy, Mr. at Sota Hoppy. How we doing?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
That's all we got.
Yeah. Well, life sucks, then you die. But anyways, one thing that's good that's going on, if anyone hasn't checked it out yet, Fellowship of the Rink, the man, the myth, the legend, basically the father of this show, Judd Brackett, was the guest this past week. What an appearance. I feel like he literally, like, I would hang out with that dude in any scenario. Like, obviously his restaurant, yeah, duh. Talking hockey, doesn't matter. Go to the bar. He's just like a beauty. And he apparently is aware of this show, which, good Lord, sorry.
Yeah,
but just a phenomenal interview, though.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have to do a whole lot. We just had talk, and he said great things.
That his answer for the
animal.
We gotta talk about that was unbelievable.
I was at the end when I saw how shocked he was by the waggle question. I'm like, ooh, I forgot. He said that's what they like to do to people. I'm gonna do it to him again. And you know that someone's done that to him before with how quickly or he's just that good. He might just be that good. Yeah,
he was dialed in. Just calls himself the Shark. When he said Apex Predator, I was like, let's fucking go. Yeah. Called himself an Apex Predator. I was sort of like,
I'm gonna have you should clip that and throw that into your intro moving forward for the podcast.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
All it's gonna say is Apex Predator.
Judd Brackett, what a beauty. What a beauty.
It's but no,
he's the man.
Awesome interview. Check that out. And had Seth over there for fill-in duty for Joe, and that went exactly how you expect it would. Mm-hmm. Awesome and terrifying all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have it any other way with Seth. That's the vibe that we cultivate together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Judd Brackett and company, they've got a big couple weeks coming up here. Before we do draft stuff, we will just briefly touch the Stanley Cup final is now becoming more interesting. Obviously, it's really annoying that it got to the 3-0 spot, but Connor McDavid, 42 fucking points in the playoffs. Go fuck yourself. Do something else. Make us feel less shitty about I want to be a quarter as good at anything in my life as Connor McDavid is at playing hockey. 42 fucking playoff points, and he hasn't even been at his best the whole playoff, which is I think I hate him. I hate him so much. Piece of shit. The Edmonton Oilers, are they now back, dude?
What's craziest to me is that everyone has already locked in that no matter how Game 6 goes, McDavid wins the Conn Smythe. That's insane. I'm not even disagreeing. I'm just saying it's insane that's what happened. Literally at Game 5, I think his odds were 6 or 7 to 1. Now he's minus money for the Conn Smythe. That is just stupid.
That is insane.
And you've got Merrick saying today, he's like, yeah, I mean, that just seems like free money. I'm like, what?
It's crazy.
Insane. And then we've got the unsung heroes popping Connor Brown, because that's who everyone expected to be making an impact this year.
Just waited. When did he get his first goal or point?
That was his first goal or point, I believe.
No. This year, his first goal or point was in what?
Joking.
Yeah, literally in March. It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah,
but
and then everyone of course, getting upset that Corey Perry, now that he scores a big goal, now is the chance that we're gonna jump out and be like, yeah, it sucks that this guy's already back in the league. Okay.
Yeah. Everyone, people can't help themselves. They're like, wait a minute. I know there's a lot of good stuff going on, but no one's talking about me and how good of a person I am. People forget that Corey Perry. I'm like, Jesus, okay. I don't
People
fucking
forget
care anymore,
how
dude.
incredible I am. It's
Let me tell them. People
like,
forget.
I'm not even gonna say like I disagree with the concept. Like I get where they're coming from, but it's like, to your point, how can I get the attention on me?
Over here. I know he scored. It's a big crazy hockey game, but like right here. Let me tell you about me and how good I am.
Can you imagine if they asked Connor McDavid that after the game? Like, so how do you feel about Corey Perry doing some, we'll just say things that he shouldn't have done in Chicago, and now he's here ready to win a Stanley Cup. Connor will look up.
Connor,
what? Like
Connor, yeah.
Like how was this not asked by Jim Matheson?
I know, Connor, you're not falling for this, right? You're too good for this piece of shit guy. Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hate everybody in the world. Everyone's annoying me, so I hate them.
That's also normal, though. You pretty much always get annoyed by people.
Yeah, no, it's pretty easy to annoy me now. I'm turning into that old man. But once again, what did I say last week? There's no chance that it goes past like 5. They are done and dusted. And once again, as always, the world laughs in my face. I am just happy that they at least have a game 6 and that there's a game 6 specifically in Edmonton, because that place was fucking rocking game 4, and it was absolutely fucking electric. I mean, it's been rocking all playoffs.
Can they get Shania
that's what people are asking.
But the real question is, if it goes to a game 7 back in Florida, will we get a third Oilers girl flashing everybody?
Yeah, what is going on? Well,
that's the thing.
I was going to say it's pretty simple. What's going on? People are just flashing the camera. Well, I mean, it is crazy because I really did feel like the first 3 games it was Florida, even when they were being outshot, just like puppeteering. Like, okay, we don't really care. This is going.
Game 1, I disagree.
Yeah, but even that game though, like it was Edmonton was getting all the shots. Florida was just like, where were all the shots coming from? Was it like they were already like there was a handful of like crazy dangerous chances?
Game 2 and 3, I agree. Game 1, I thought was a little bit more tilted to Edmonton, and Bobrovsky actually had to earn that win. Whereas the other 2, it was like, oh no, like you're playing right into what Florida wants. Right.
Yeah, fair enough.
But you're right. I'm not going to sit here and say like Edmonton controlled game 1.
Yeah.
It's more so like there's at least reason that they could have / should have won that game.
Yeah, like after game 1, it was like, oh yeah, this could go 6 or 7. Then game 2 and 3 happened. You're like, oh, they're fucked.
And now now I bet betting odds have flipped that Edmonton's the favorite.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like, also very funny that Matthew Tkachuk last night made that fucking insane diving goal line save, and immediately they just scored on the rebound. It was just like,
I'd still give him the Conn Smythe just for that play, even though they scored right after. That was awesome.
It was funny. He like, as soon as he got to his feet, the puck was in the back of the net. I was like, that sucks so bad. Like,
there's a San Jose account that I like go back and forth with a little bit ever since Addison went there, and he had the perfect comment on it. Like he like shared the actual video of it, and then his comment is, "This has all the vibes of me stopping the microwave right at 1 second to avoid waking anybody up." Mm-hmm. I'm like, yes, that is the energy.
I like that one. That's good.
Up to you. Do we want to talk about any of the movement that's been announced today, yesterday?
I haven't. I'm not kidding. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Oh, so you didn't hear about Markstrom?
No.
He was moved.
Oh. All right.
Take a guess where? Take a guess where?
New Jersey?
Bingo. Went to New Jersey for a 2025 first, top 10 protected, and the man that's been traded like 3 or 4 times now, I think. Ball. What can you tell us about Ball?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if you're New Jersey, it's a
great deal for New Jersey. And it was like 31 point something % retention. So I think they're paying just over $4 million for him for the next 2 years. So that works. 2 years left.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Kevin Ball, I mean, the last year or two, he's become more of a steady regular. I mean, he's big. He's fucking mean. He's not just big. He is massive. He's mean as shit.
Where's he slot on like a normal team?
I mean, he's a bottom pair guy, but like one that's fairly reliable defensively. Not a ton of offensive pop or whatever, but like that's not really why he's in your lineup.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I still like him as a player. I think he'll actually fit in really nice in Calgary, and he's the kind of player that I feel like Flames fans will love. So, if they really got to pick up Markstrom for the first round pick and like a 5'6" defenseman, that's not a bad deal at all for them, obviously.
Yeah.
And they can keep the 10th overall pick this year unless they still want to do some more crazy shit. So yeah, that's a nice little pickup for New Jersey if they really believe in Markstrom. Markstrom's just been so up and down like his whole career that makes me nervous. But I mean, they didn't just have a crazy package.
They don't need him to be rockstar Markstrom that we've seen. They just need him to not suck. That's it. That's the bar for him to clear, especially with how good this team is. Like, he just needs to be adequate, which I think he's capable of doing.
Right.
But it's going to be early stumbles for them. So if you're looking to place futures on New Jersey, like, I'd wait like a month, let them lose a couple games, let Markstrom look bad because he's getting comfortable behind a new team, and then hammer it.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I at least think
Warren. Oh shit! Now I'm seeing the other one.
Oh, the signing.
No. Well, I saw that.
Good. Then we'll talk about yours next. But how much would you be willing to pay one Filip Hronek if you are the Vancouver Canucks?
No, I did see that one. I was just seeing the other one. Like I was seeing the other ones at the same time. So did you? Well, first of all, did you see LeBron's tweet about the contract breakdown year by year? It was easily the most confusing. I was like, this makes no sense. He was just like, I actually don't know why he did it the way. I'm gonna pull it up again because I was reading it yesterday. I was just like, what the fuck are you even trying to say right now? Like, it was unbelievable how confusing his tweet was. Like, where'd it go? Yeah, Filip Hronek contract breakdown. 9.5, 5.5 salary for signing bonus. 9, 5 salary for SB. 6.5 salary. 8.4, 4.4 salary for SB. It's like, and he does this for every fucking year. And I was like, I had to read it a few times. I was like, okay, no, I see what this is the weirdest way possible to do it. And now that we're not going to have cap friendly for a whole long. By the way, dude, and so first of all, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about that contract.
If I'm a Vancouver fan, I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like having the player. I do not like that contract.
Yeah, I don't love the full, like the term is crazy to me.
The term, it's high for how long the term is.
So every part of the contract is not 3 years full no move, like 4 years of a 15 no team trade, like, or no team. Jesus Christ. Yeah, no trade.
No team trade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really love it. I think if you could have done like 2 fewer years, I don't know, at like 6, that's probably fine. But I mean, he was great for them. I get it. Like, obviously, you want to keep the player.
$6 million over 4 years. I'd be like, that's very. I mean, that was never going to happen. But like, that's where I'm like thrilled if the contract gets done.
Yeah,
many years. I just he's a good player. He is at at best a number 2, and I think realistically he's a guy on your second pair if you're a team that's competitive. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. I do not love that contract. Same time, again, if he stays healthy, he was very good for them. And watching him and Quinn Hughes operate was actually pretty fun. So pretty crazy how he just he had 1 or 2 solid years in Detroit, and then he went to Vancouver and just went crazy.
All right, let's flip this then, because well, I think you already know this, but dollars are pretty similar now, even with the recent bump. Who would you rather have? Hronek and Hughes or Taves and Makar? That is what they are investing in. This is their top 2 guys, and I just don't think it even sniffs it.
Right. Yeah, no, that doesn't.
That's big. That's big money to commit. I don't know. When you've got a lot of other business you got to take care of, especially it sounds like they think they're bringing in Gensel. So, fuck, I don't know. What's the move you wanted to talk about, Z?
Well, I was about to say, so now we know why the Washington Capitals bought Cap Friendly, so nobody could look at the Pierre-Luc Dubois contract for the rest of time. All right. I don't know why the fuck they did that. I mean,
I love to, and I'm sure he's listening on the audio version here. Nicoletti basically goes out and pulls the Dwight Schrute from The Office, where they find out that Jim and Pam are dating, and Dwight's like, I don't get it. I think they could both do better. It's like, wait. He basically said it's a bad for both teams, and I'm like, it's got to be good for one of them. Otherwise, it sounds like it's a good trade. I don't know. I don't know how to make sense of it's bad for both teams. I think if you're LA, you're thrilled.
Yeah, if you're LA, you're perfect.
You're getting out from that contract, and you have. I don't have the utmost confidence in him, but he's better than Cam Talbot. It also just means that we've lost our shot at Phil Gustafson being traded to the Kings and ruining Cam Talbot's life. Darcy Kemper gets that honor.
Yeah. What's crazy to me is this
is great. They traded Evgeny Kuznetsov for Evgeny Kuznetsov. That's brilliant. I love that.
I still it is crazy to me that, first of all, Pierre-Luc Dubois is still 25 years old.
Yeah.
I am surprised that they threw the towel on that in year 1. They
clearly saw something not on the ice that they're man.
Because I'm trying to remember it.
But how, if you're Washington, is that not the biggest red flag in the world?
Yeah. Do you need to get rid of Kemper that bad? But I don't know. I still
number 1 goalie.
There's still obviously there's legit upside in PLD.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say there's no hope that he can be solid. But I think the quote from McClellan was it brings in a 25-year-old with immense potential to become a top-tier center in the NHL.
Sure.
I'm I don't know. He's had the opportunity. This is team 4.
No, you know what? I've got this, though. They're hey, we've got a guy who has all the talent in the world, but just doesn't give a fuck. What we're going to do is bring him in and put him with a winger who also just really doesn't give a fuck. Tell me that Ovi is out there giving 100%. If he's got the puck or if he's got a chance to get into scoring position, yeah, he'll give you the burners. Outside of that, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Do I blame him? No. But that's ultimately what you're proposing. Those two are going to be on a line together, and it seems like if I'm top tier forward on any other team, I'm so excited when I play against those two.
Yeah, the thing with Dubois too is especially it kind of works given that this player was just in Washington as well. It seems like he's like just reminding me of Anthony Mantha, where it's like you've got a big fucking power forward who can be mean, insane skill, offensive upside. Whether or not you're gonna get that on a nightly basis, who knows? I've like, because like when they're on and engaged and are like all in, like they're nightmares to play against, both Mantha and Dubois. So like at some point, Dubois has to be like, I need to fucking settle in here. I have to lock it down and figure this out. It's crazy to me that this is going to be team number 4 for him. And is that contract, has it started yet? Or is this going to be year 1?
That was year 1.
This past year was the first year of that contract?
Yep.
Okay.
No, and there's already talk about potentially buying it out. And Friedman was doing the math, and I'm like, there's no fucking way you can do this. Oh my God. They would have been paying it off for the next, like, I think they said it was like 18 years or something.
Yeah. I used to like just find those albatross contracts that were terrible on day one and shout out now defunct Cap Friendly. Actually, when is it going to be offline?
I've been told, I think it was like July 5th is what Isha found.
Oh, so the Capitals have a couple weeks to
well, they're being nice and letting it like stay up through like the beginning of free agency, which like apparently according to Merrick, like a couple of GMs have already told him privately, like if I spent the money to buy that website, it would have been shut down immediately.
Yeah.
Like they're not happy that Washington did it, but they're like, they get it. Like, same with me. I'm pissed off this is happening. I respect the power move. Good play. And good for the Cap Friendly guys for fucking getting that money, and now they're working for an NHL team. That's fun.
Yeah.
But no, that's fun. Well, all right. I think we've burned enough here. Hopefully you've had enough time to gather some thoughts on what your mock is looking like here, because per Sean Cosgrove, ready, Harry? Mock. He's not going to do it, bitch. Well, Cosgrove had me here. Mock, yeah. Ing, yeah. Bird, yeah. Electric. Who needs the radio? Let's hear it, Z. This is your final mock draft before the NHL draft, just over a week away. And the only thing I can say with confidence probably is your top 2 picks. So I'm interested to hear some of this. Let's just lead off here, though. Understanding is these are your picks. This is how you would pick for each team, not your predictions for where players will be taken. Am I correct?
No, because that's what we've done the past few times.
Okay, so what are we doing? This is prediction time.
Yeah, this is unlike
advance. We're doing prediction time. This is gonna look good looking back.
I'm gonna be just like guessing, just based on going through like if I'm picking basically by need, I guess, and what combined with like stuff that we're hearing about teams and who they like.
Okay.
So I
that
for the past 8 minutes, I've just had prospect depth charts up.
Have you tried the pear high noon?
Yeah, it's good as hell.
It has me confused. I don't know if I love it or dislike it. It's like a weird in between. But we got through it. Well, all right, Z. Who do you think the San Jose Sharks plan on drafting? Which, important to note, Greer did not say flat out in a press conference recently who he's going to be drafting. That was awesome.
Michael Brunswick, New York. No. Good. By the way, they also just claimed Barclay Goodrow off waivers from the Rangers. He's headed back to San Jose. Obviously, that's the big news everyone's talking about in the NHL today. Jesus Christ, what a dog shit contract that was from day one. But shout out Barclay Goodrow. Shout out San Jose, Jesus, Sharks, who go out and pick Macklin Celebrini. We don't have to spend too much time on this. Just like you have him, Will Smith's there. Other guys that are coming, like Philip Bisset, who's been real good since they drafted him 2 years ago. David Edstrom, who they picked up in that trade from Vegas for Hurdle. And then you've got other young guys there. Thomas Bordelot, another center. Colin Graff, who they picked up, the college free agent. And I mean, even like the past year or two, some of the players that they've picked up, like, pick up Zadina off waivers. They've got a bunch of young players who I like a lot. And again, they have another pick at 14.
They do.
So it's going to be nice to get Celebrini and then another first-round pick.
I want to hear your handicap for it, but also what you would want. Celebrini going to the NHL next year. Odds.
I would put it about 100%.
Oh, okay.
I don't see him going back.
The counter argument to it is, do you worry that they don't have enough players to like adequately surround both him and Smith?
No, I'm not worried about it.
Their contracts both coming up at the same time?
No, I think they'll be fine. Like, that's the other thing. Since they have so few players anyway, like, who the fuck else are going to be signing when those two are up? I'm not worried about that at all. Like the thing, like Celebrini, like neither one of them are going to hit the NHL and just pop immediately. It's going to be tough, but they're good enough to make it happen eventually. Like, I think that's the thing with Celebrini is just like, I don't even think it'll take him that long to be like as just a solid NHL player next season. But it will be interesting given the fact that it's going to be like him and Smith. But it's going to be fun too. You got guys like Eklund. So like they've got enough young players there that I think it's going to be fun to watch. Even if they start losing fucking every goddamn game.
I love Slippery Pete.
Yeah. Yeah. But
okay.
But then you'll see like the thing with Will Smith is what he's probably going to be starting for the wing as well. So that's going to be interesting to see him do that. But yeah, I'm not worried about it. I am assuming that he's not going back to college. Like what he did this past year, it's like, what are we gonna like have him do it again? Like even like his head coach after that year, like, hey, after like the after they got bounced in the Frozen Four, like even Sacco was like, yeah, I mean he should probably go to the NHL. like, yeah, he's ready. He should probably go. Like didn't even bother trying to make the argument. So yeah, I'm not worried about it.
No consideration for your BU buddy that was sitting behind us at the Frozen Four.
Sorry, pal. Beauty. Guy was by himself. That guy was a legend.
Well, since we're going off of expectation and prediction rather than your personal picks, am I correct that it's basically down to two possible options for the Chicago Blackhawks?
Yep. And I am at the point, I'm assuming that they're going to go out and take the right shot D-man, Artem Levshunov out of Michigan State.
Did you hear those, Z?
Nope. I haven't heard anything.
Ivan Demidov, we got updated measurements, 7 feet tall.
Oh, fuck.
He's 6'1".
Wow, that's big.
By actual measurement.
Yeah, it is funny that part of like the reason they had to bring the Russians over, it's like, yeah, we didn't get to see enough like live viewings of them. Also, we have no idea how big these guys actually fucking are. Where it's like, did you actually just want them to come here so you could measure them? Like, I kind of feel like you just wanted to get the height and like, fuck, we don't have anything set up to like run drills. We just like brought the tape measure. Like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, we're gonna scale a tape measure. It's interesting though that Demidov actually ended up being 6'1" because it's been like, he's 5'10".
Yeah, 5'10".
Is he 6? Is he 6 feet? I have no fucking idea.
Apparently he's 6'1". Maybe that does make a difference.
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? That's the thing. He's nasty. I love him. Yeah, he's sick.
All right, so you're going Levshunov, which I know you don't necessarily agree with, but you understand.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. The thing is, like, again, if I'm picking there, I'm taking Demidov. Like, I understand that they've got some pretty decent forwards up front already. And when you look at like the back end, they don't have a guy like Lev Shunov, and Lev Shunov's upside is just through the roof. Plus, given the fact that he's as big as he is, moves as well as he does, has the offensive upside, and like flashes defensive ability when he chooses to. And as the year went on, I think he actually improved quite drastically defensively. It's funny too when you look at their back end in terms of like the guys that they have in the pool. They do have some big boys. So we've like you're looking at a potential future decor if they take Lev Shunov at second overall, where like they're gonna be big, they're gonna be mean, they're gonna be mobile, like, and you've got guys like Nolan Allen and Ethan Del Mastro who are both like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", anywhere in that range, and they are like actually solid defensively. Like that's gonna be a real nice back end for years to come. But I'm imagining they're probably looking at a potential future D pair of Korchinski and Lev Shunov and just salivating. So
Yeah,
I have a feeling at this point they'll go Lev Shunov at 2. My guy will be Demidov, but I do understand the appeal in the big mobile right shot defenseman. So there you go.
outside of Celebrini, so that's Lev Shunov or anyone that's going to come after. Is anyone else jumping into the NHL next year?
I mean, it's interesting. One guy that, like, every time that question gets asked, like, one player that comes up quite often is a guy like Konstantinos.
Sure.
In terms of guys that could be ready to play.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there's, like, Bronzek Nigord could probably play next year. I think him getting a year in the SHL will be better for him anyways, though.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of like, it's not necessarily players who are going to, like, pop, like, with big-time offensive numbers. Like, that's not why they may be ready. But the guys I feel like that are ready, it's just, like, guys that are so far developed and play, like, a pro game that, like, might be more quiet. But it's more of just, like, how smart they are, like they're positionally sound, they understand the game so well, and they've already fit in and played really well in pro leagues in Europe. So, a guy like Lanius, I'd be interested.
But Lev Shunov is like a very unlikely jump next year, right?
I don't know. I've seen both. Like, I'm not sure. I have a feeling he might just end up going. I don't know. He could probably benefit from one more year. Like, and again, especially in Chicago, if he goes there, no real need to have him jump in. But there, I've seen the argument too about how much more does he have to prove in college hockey. I think that there's plenty there for him to work on, but we'll see. I wouldn't be shocked though if he ends up signing and going right away.
All right, fair enough. Now then, the real fun part here. Do we take another top tier defenseman, or is Anaheim just like the most spoiled team on offense that we've ever seen, snagging Demidov?
Yeah, I've been going through this one. I think the Anaheim Ducks are a team that I could, just looking at the players that they have now, I honestly don't know what they're going to do because they are just so loaded everywhere. It's interesting. Like, at first, I figured they might go forward because, I mean, when you just look at the back end, the prospects they've already got there, like Minchikov, we saw hit the NHL this year, was a stud. Zellweger is going to be phenomenal. Like, I think he actually already put up 9 points in like less than 30 games this year. Tristan Luneau, QMJHL Defenseman of the Year 2 years ago, another undersized right shot D-man. Like, young guys like Hellison, Tyson Hines, Noah Warren, Dionizio, Lacombe. Like, they have so many. But then I keep seeing people speculating that they go for a defenseman. I just don't. Maybe it's just because they're so loaded everywhere that it doesn't make sense to me. I have a feeling have a weird feeling that they're going to end up taking Salayev. I don't know if that's right, but
yikes.
They bring in. I mean, for me, I think it would make more sense for them to bring in someone like Caden Lindstrom, who fits exactly what they look for in their forwards. Like, played center for the first time this year. Well, like, in my head, Demidov's already gone. I'm saying, if it was...
No, but it's not in your head. You said you didn't want to go.
I know. God damn it, I knew you were going to say that. Jesus, goddamn Christ.
But you can't, change on every pick. Or this time, I'm going to pick the way I'd pick. And the next pick, I'm going to go with what the GM
That's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing.
We're going to go with what Mateo says.
That's not what I'm doing. But whatever. So I'm just going to stop it now.
It's all right. I'm on the passion fruit now. We're doing okay.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'll just say Salayev. I don't agree with it.
That's wild, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
He does bring a different element than what they have on their back end, though. They have a ton of offensive-oriented defensemen, right?
Yeah, and I mean they've got guys like Zellweger, Luno. I mean they've got a couple guys that are real big. And again, I understand the appeal with Salayev because of how good of a skater he is at that size. I think at worst you're going to get a number 4 defenseman. I don't really see any potential number 1. He started getting all this love because of the offense that jumped out. The first 8 games, he had 8 points. I think he finished the year with 11. I don't see a ton of offense there, but I think just given how well he moves, and I think he is a real smart player. I think he could put up decent numbers offensively, but I mean the value you're getting when you take him is the size, the mobility, and the defensive game because he is defensively solid. Again, I get the appeal. Wouldn't be my pick at 3rd overall, but I have a feeling that could potentially happen. And again, he gives them something that they don't necessarily have a ton of in their back end. But for Anaheim, I still in my head, I like having Lindstrom, but whatever.
Yeah. All right. Fair. So then we move on to the Columbus Blue Jackets. First selection from Don Waddell. What's he going to do?
Yeah, I'm looking at their depth chart too. They've got so fucking many defensemen. It's insane how many they have. So this is where the slide stops. We're gonna take Ivan Demidov at 4th overall here.
Tell me why you would take Demidov for Columbus though, and you take Lindstrom for Anaheim. I feel like there's more of a need down the middle for Columbus. Is there not?
No. I mean, when you look at the guys that they've got there. Kent Johnson can play center. I think he'll probably end up playing at the NHL level. Fantilli, Sillinger, Delbel Blues, Pinelli. They've got some decent centers there. But the thing with Lindstrom, this is the first year he played center. We don't know if he'll actually end up being a center at the NHL level. But when you look at the guys that Anaheim has up front, they've got a bunch of guys like that. Plus, he's got the size, the meanness that we know that they like their prospects. So, when I look at their lineup, I'm Caden Lindstrom kind of just checks all of those boxes with what they like. So, yeah, I'm just going to take Demidov there. They've got a couple rushes already that they've taken over the past few years. Now it's a different regime, so we'll see what they do. But where was Waddell before? Carolina, and they didn't give a fuck. They took all the Russians. I think it was 2 years ago. They literally took all of them. We'll just keep doing it.
Is it different when they're always late 20s and they're all right, we're going to take the guy that they all let slide?
Yeah, probably. But then at the same time, they went out and got Svechnikov a couple years that year too, very high.
Fair. Well, then let's move on to what I think is probably the most fun pick of the draft. Montreal Canadiens. What the hell does that team have up their sleeve? Because they they give zero fucks. And I'm sure their fans will be super sane and not harass the player that gets taken too early.
This is just another team that over the last few years has been spoiled with solid players. Looking at their depth chart, it seems like they would want to go with a forward. And I'm going to go out and take a swing here that they might really like to have Caden Lindstrom at 5th overall. Again, potential to be a center at the NHL level. Size, he's mean, goal scorer. He's got some playmaking in him as well. When I look at their forward prospect pool, like they could use a guy like that, especially the center position. At the same time, like their wings they've got like the top end. Caden Lindstrom can give you pretty much anything at any position, I think. So, yeah, I like the fit there. The one other guy that they've heard a lot, like, has been, well, there's been 2 other forwards that like have been talked about with Montreal, in Iginla and Beckett Seneca. I have a feeling Beckett Seneca does end up going top 10. Seneca, whatever. But I still think 5 might be just a tad too high. So I think they might go out and take a swing at Caden Lindstrom.
Sounds good. So then we have, I don't even know, do you know at this point what the abbreviation is for Utah? Like, is it UTA? Is it UHC? SLC?
I have no idea.
MIC to all the Arizona fans? I don't know.
Huck. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck to call them right now. Hockey Utah Club. Fucking the logo on Elite Prospect is very funny. This one's going to be interesting as well. The past couple years, they've gone out and taken those Russians.
Yeah, like if Celaya is still available at 6, he is a lock, right?
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer for them. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that they might end up taking this is that defenseman run that I think is going to happen. I'll guess Zeev Bouillon.
Wow. Okay.
I was going to say Perek. And then I was like, I don't think so. The one that I was actually going back and forth on was if they would take Dickinson over either one of them. Just given the fact that he might, like, he obviously is showing offensive upside. A lot of that has to do with the fact that he plays for London and London's loaded. But he's got the size and the defensive game, like on another level or like an absolute floor. Zeev Bouillon gives you defensive value and like ridiculous offensive upside. So I think they might take a swing there. He can play on the left, he can play on the right. So I'll say Zeev Bouillon. The only thing that would have like Perek in contention there for me is just the fact that he's a right shot. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna end up being well, that's what I'm saying now anyways. I'm sure on draft day when we do the live stream I'll say someone else.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Then we go to another team that feels like they've just been stockpiling prospects for God knows how long and still can't find a way to get over the hump. We got the Ottawa Senators picking at 7. Who are the top couple of options, and which one do you think it ends up being?
Yeah, I'm going to go back and forth between the two defensemen I just talked about, Parekh and Dickinson. And when I look at what they've got, I could see them really liking a kid like Sam Dickinson. I think I actually had him mocked there when we did the mock draft at the lottery. He just like gives you a lot of Sanderson vibes without, and like I guess he does, or he has been showing the offensive upside. I don't really know if that translates all that much to the NHL level. I don't really know, but I could see them going with Dickinson there just because it kind of fits exactly what I would imagine they want, especially given the fact that Chychrun's going to be out of there most likely pretty soon. And again, Dickinson's a guy that can play on the left or the right, so they could pair him really with any one of those top 4 defensemen in the future. And even if he doesn't hit as a number 1, they've got plenty of other guys there that can hypothetically, in theory, fill that. So I'm going to say Dickinson. I feel like that feels right. So I'll just stick with it.
Well, all right. This is trending well. 8, Seattle Kraken.
Oh. I have to pull up. Come on. Great. I was hoping it would stop working. There we go. All right. They've gone pretty forward heavy the last couple of years, I feel like. They did end up taking Dragosevich, Caden Price last. That's 2 real solid defensemen. And Ty Nelson 2 years ago. Or was that last year too? I can't remember. I think just to be an asshole, I mocked the Ginla here before. I think I'm going to do it again just to be a dick. So we're going to say Ginla is going to Seattle again. He played 1 year for the Thunderbirds in WHL before making his way to Kelowna. Actually, again, like it's a great pick, I think, for them. I think they like him a lot. And he fits kind of their forward mold with some of the players that they've got. And like the fact that he could just be a one-man show is just very appealing. So I don't feel like letting Calgary having the glory, and he's going to go pack his shit and move on down to fucking Seattle.
What would it take if Seattle's like, okay, let's try and extort him? Like, what would Calgary have to give up to swap picks if Tish is still there?
I don't know, like the keys to the city. I fucking like
because if you want to be a real dick, if you're Seattle, like you basically leak it, like, hey, we are willing to move this pick so that Calgary can get a Ginla. If they don't make the trade, we're taking a Ginla, and just watch like Calgary melt. Oh, hey, the Flames, that works. Like, I think that would be so fun, and I don't know how you.
Yeah, realistically, I don't know if they'll. God, I don't know if they would take him, but you know, I'm gonna stick with it. It's more fun
that way. I love it.
Yep.
Okay, then who after the depression and downfall does Calgary just not make it to the podium in time for their pick, or do they have a backup plan?
Yeah, so this is gonna be one I'll be fascinated by. This is about the time that I start wondering if there are all these teams that like the profile player, if we see the big swing for Seneke. But at the same time, like Zane Parex's still on the board. Berkeley Cat's still on the board. Constable Helenius. Plenty of guys who we've had in the top 10 for a long time. And I think looking at the Flames pool, they've got a fuck ton of defensemen. Holy shit. That they've taken over the past few years. I really don't want to. It's crazy because I don't see Parekh falling much farther. I also don't know if I see Calgary taking that swing there. Because again, like the past couple, and they picked up like guys like Bruce Davids in the Lindholm deal, but like last year they pick up Hertig, Moran. Well, all right, actually, it wouldn't be crazy. I'm going back and forth between Catton and Parekh right now, because I think when you look at their centers, they've got a bunch of old guys, and then pretty much nothing else in terms of like the future. I'll say Berkeley Catton. Berkeley Catton to Calgary. Come on down. Which is making this interesting with Parekh still on the board. It's going to drive me crazy finding a spot. But Berkeley Catton, we've talked about before. Incredible player. Super creative offensively. He's able to score goals. He's a dynamic playmaker. He's a good skater. And defensively, he's solid. Like, I think he scored 4 or 5, 6 shorthand goals this year. He's going to be on your PK. Like, he gives you value all over the ice. The upside's through the roof. And when I look at, like, the top center prospect in Calgary's pool right now, that isn't in the NHL anyways, you're looking at, like, Jade Lipinski, which is not what you want, not a place you want to be. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to go there and select Berkeley Catton. And I think even though they miss out on Iginla, and they're depressed about that, and they're sad, and they're crying, they'll be doing backflips when you end up taking Berkeley Catton 9th overall. Like, you're doing backflips.
Yeah, I just always assumed he'd end up in Buffalo just because Buffalo is now the team that I will forever expect to steal the pick you want to fall.
Yeah.
It still hurts me. All right. That means we're at 10 with the New Jersey Devils sitting here looking at a lot of options on defense with already a stacked group on the blue line.
Yeah, so that's why when I look at it, I still have a hard time seeing them take a defenseman. Like the upside and the guys that haven't even got there yet is crazy. Specifically, like Seamus Casey. Charlie Letty, I forgot they took him. Ethan Edwards has been really good. Like, they've got so many defensemen. Plus, the guys that are already there. Like, Hamilton's coming back. They've got him locked up through 2028. John Marino, they bring in last year. He's locked up through 27. Siegenthaler's locked up through 28. But then you have Luke Hughes, Simon Nemec. Like, they've got so many young defensemen, like, just playing and studs. And you got a couple on the way who are projected to be top 4 defensemen. Like, they might even have too many already. So, I wondered if they go and they lean in on the forwards again. And again, the guy that I've had pegged there for a long time and kind of fits the exact profile of player, Consta Helenius at 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it just makes
say that.
It just makes so much sense to me. Like, I have a hard time seeing them not do it if he's sitting there. And if Berkeley Catton was sitting there and Calgary decided not to take him, then I would see them going there. But when I look at the profile of player like Helenius again, like whether or not he's going to end up at center, we'll see. I think he can play center at the NHL level, but even if he's a middle 6, you're fine with that because he's going to get like better matchups. But also again, defensively, he might be the smartest or top 5 smartest players in this draft. Like watching the tape on him, like and the way he plays, like he approaches the game like an NHL game already. So. Again, he's the guy too that comes up all the time when people ask about are there any players outside like the top guys who have a chance at playing the NHL next year. Helenius is always like the first guy that comes up. So, and I mean we saw the point production this year, which is very uncommon for the Finnish Liga. So I think he fits exactly what New Jersey likes in a player. So. I will go. The slide continues for Zane Parekh. It's crazy. I don't know. I have no idea where the fuck I'm going to take him now.
I can't believe he slid this far and I'm making the picks.
I'm in control. This is crazy.
So, I mean, it ends here with Buffalo then, right? At number 11?
That's the other thing, too. I keep being like, fuck, all these teams are loaded on the back end. Like, what the fuck? The thing with with Buffalo the last few years though is like they've been pretty firm on just like best player. Like last year they pick up Zach Benson, even though like at that position they've been absolutely fucking loaded for a long time. They're like, yeah, but it's Zach Benson's just sitting here. Like obviously we're gonna take him. So I wonder if they still end up just saying fuck it, we're taking Parekh anyways. Like I mean, so many of their defensemen too, they are like left shots. So you know what? We're doing that. We're taking Zane Parekh. He's going right to Buffalo. Pack your shit. Let's go. Let's go. And now that's a ridiculous. I mean, like that's the other thing too. The problem is like, how often is this kid gonna have the fucking puck? Like Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, Bowen Byram. I'm like, they'll figure it out. Like
I don't think
amongst themselves.
I don't think Byram's long for the Sabres.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Zane Parekh at that point, like if he's sitting there alive, like fuck, you have to just do it.
No, I get it. So that brings us to the scumbags of the NHL, the Philadelphia Flyers at 12, right before the Minnesota Wild. Who are they going to take to just ruin our day?
Yeah, who are they going to take that the Wild are going to fuck up by not taking first? Let's see. All right. So last year they were just Matt Michkov, who might be coming over and might be in North America next year, which is incredible. They
also might already be in North America.
Yeah, he might be. Who the fuck knows where he is? Who knows what he's up to? I just like they had such a solid draft, even outside of Michkov last year. Like they picked up Denver Barkey, who is a big, just like toolsy center who's also mean, like lit it up for London. And then they go out and get Alex Chernik, who is just like the poor man's version of Felix Unger-Sorum to me. Some people probably say that Chernik was better, but like I don't give a fuck about that. Unger-Sorum is my guy, so fuck everyone. Fuck 12, I don't care. So brutal. But they just had like such a solid draft up and down. So I kind of look at the guys that they've got, and they also picked up, I forgot, Helga Grans in that deal, who I really like out of LA. They've got Emil Andre in the back end, but I still kind of feel when I look at the guys that are there, I wonder if they don't take a swing at Carter Yakimchuk. Big right shot. He's shown offensive upside. But the thing with him is he is a fucking prick to play against. He had like 125 penalty minutes this year. Only a handful of them were fights. Like only a couple of them. Other than that, like he's fucking burying guys. Like just like out for blood. He's gonna like if he wants to show any kind of like I think top pair number one defenseman, which I don't think you're going to get a number one defenseman. I get why people watch him play and think that he might have that in them. He's going to have to pick or like kind of choose what he is. The thing with him, he just tries to do way too much. Like sometimes him just breaking out the puck is a fucking nightmare. He's just trying to do so much with it. He seems like he's in between. Like I feel like skating out myself. I feel like actually, no, I need to throw an outlet pass, and he'll just like throw it into the fucking like ether. Sometimes he's just trying to like dance the blue line in like the worst possible time. So I have a question about the hockey sense and decision making. I don't think it's so bad that like this is going to be a pick where we look back in 5 years and say, oh, they took him because he put up points and he was 6'3". Like I don't see that being the case because I do see him like as a solid defender anyways. And again, just a miserable player to play against, especially like in the crease. Like he's going to kill you. But the fact that he's shown the offensive upside that he's shown, and even though a lot of it, I think is just him kind of at times just like bullying smaller, less athletic players, especially like when he's like dancing through, like he's just picking the puck up off the wall and just like forcing his way to the middle. I like that's not the stuff he's really doing at the NHL level. And like sometimes the points are coming from him just like throwing the puck from the blue line. But I still think like his shot is absurd. He could skate. And again, he's big and fucking mean. Right shot. I could see Philly really liking that. And again, I think he's a really good player. I don't know if he's going to end up as a top pair, number one D-man. But if he's a 3 or 4, I think you're fine taking that at 12 overall.
Fair. So that brings us to the moment of truth here. I know there's 2 names front and center for me at number 13 that are still available for the Minnesota Wild. But your Judd bracket. Give me the names you're considering of who's left, and then give me who you're going to pick.
Yeah, so the 3 that I'm looking at, the obvious, my son, Bronsek Nikord. Don't have to talk too much about him. The other one that I brought up last time and continues to become a real possibility, it almost feels likely, Cole Yzerman. And the guy that has been a riser, who I actually, again, would assume that he probably will be gone by this point, Beckett Seneke. Those are the 3 I'm going back and forth on right now.
Do we need to be worried that they're going to pull a deep cut and go for like a Stian Solberg?
Yeah, I guess
that's been mocked.
I guess we have to worry about that as well. Again, even if they did, he's a solid player. He's a first-round pick for sure. So
if those 3 names are on the board and they go Solberg, you're not shitting your pants.
I'll just start laughing at this point. I'll just start laughing.
Oh, and as we look at this, if Seneke was to go sooner, because like you said, you expect him to go top 10, like who is the team most likely to grab a Seneke?
Yeah, I mean, I look at a team, honestly, like Buffalo. Wouldn't be shocked. I would think New Jersey has to think long and hard about that, even though they probably are trying to get someone who could play center. Probably that range. And even like Calgary, they would love a fucking forward like him. Actually, or yeah, those 4. Like literally those 4 in front. The fucking the Minnesota Wild.
8 to 11, just not Philly.
Yeah. I mean, even Philly would probably love to. I mean, every fucking team in the NHL is gonna want him. It's just it's gonna be like
fair. We can move past my question. I'm sorry.
No, I was just thinking. I was like, oh, Philly too. Fuck.
Yeah, that's.
It is funny, dude. Like, other than people who have been watching like these guys the whole season, no one knew. Very few people knew who the fuck Seneke was until like 3 weeks ago. And now he's like, this is the best player of all time.
And now he'll go 5 to Montreal.
I know. Right? I know. We've heard that they love
Montreal's like, it's either a Ginla or Seneke. We don't know which.
Yeah.
Okay. So give me who you think the Wild would take of those 4, and then I want you to rank the 4 for me from your lens. So first, who are they taking? Who's Judd want?
Fuck it, I'll do it. I'll just take Seneke.
Okay, so Judd's taking Beckett Seneke.
I don't even know why I said that. You know, I don't think you'll do it.
Judd's listening right now. He's like, this guy's a fucking idiot. No, all right. So Beckett Seneke is the selection.
Yeah, we're taking.
Who you take those 4 names right there and rank them for me of who you would want the Wild to take.
Bronsek Nygård, my son. I could probably go Seneke and then Yzerman, which is just crazy.
And you're just not even going to include Solberg in the list? That makes sense.
Yeah, I Solberg 4. I just like the upside's not there. But it's like crazy. It's like they're all stairs.
Yzerman last. Okay.
No, Yzerman and then Solberg.
No,
I thought you said.
Sorry, of the 3.
Yeah,
since we disagreed, Solberg's just not even in the equation for you.
Yeah, I hear like you ask me tomorrow, I might flip all 3. The next day, I might do like different order. I like all. They are such different fucking players. It's funny. Like when you have Beckett Seneke, like he's an absolute fucking dog. By the way, he measured the combine. 6 inches or 6. Nope, that's not what they were measuring. 6 feet 2 inches. 2.75. So he's basically 6'3", aka 8 feet tall.
Ooh, we love that. Now, Z, you've seen the movie 50 First Dates, right?
Yeah.
I can't get the image out of my head of just like you waking up every morning and me showing you the video that you recorded the night before of like, here's how you rank these guys. Like, I was a fucking idiot. No. This is redo.
Oh, I don't think any of these are going to end up being right, other than like.
No. I'm saying the way you just ranked those three, because you're like, yeah, ask me any other day, and I'll probably completely flip it. Don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's funny too, because like I think of those three, like Bronzek, Igor's upside probably is the lowest. So I just like I love that player. It like kind of fits exactly what they're looking for. But at the same time, you ask me another day, like like Sedecki is exactly what we're looking for, because he is he is an absolute dog. He is a prick to play against. Like, yes, he's basically 6'3". 6.275 is so annoying. Just say 6'3", like who gives a fuck. But like he's also such a fucking good skater. Like he flies, and he's a dude that he goes like 0 to 60 in half a second. Like he'll get to top speed from a complete standstill unbelievably fast, and like when he creates a separation, it's unbelievable. And he's got just like insane hands, the skill, like he can shoot. He kind of just like checks every offensive box. We just haven't seen it for as long as we'd like to see it. And at times the decision making, there's gonna be a big question mark, but like again, we took him. That's where we're going. And I actually think like it's a good pick either way. But then you have Yzerman, who's the best goal scorer of the draft. So that's crazy high upside right there. And then Bronzek and Igor is just like, I can do everything.
Oh man.
So
the way this is lining up is just like too scary and too fun. So next at number 14, with Pittsburgh's selection, of course, because why wouldn't it be that way? San Jose Sharks. How do they not take the swing on Yzerman? How do you not?
Yeah. No, they do. They take Cole Yzerman, the slide stops.
Does that make Celebrini reconsider, like, okay, I could have one more year here. This would be fun.
Yeah. Or Yzerman just goes, I'm going to the NHL. They're like, no, you're not. Like, that's not up to you.
I decommit from the Gophers. I decommit from BU.
I decommit. I'm going to the Barracuda.
To the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm just going to go rip it up.
But for real, is Yzerman the pick here for San Jose, or talk me out of it?
Yeah, I've also seen it's interesting, like in that spot, Solberg. When you look at like the defenseman they've got back there, not a whole lot of like NHL certainty. But no, I think at that point you're more than comfortable taking. It's crazy saying taking the swing on Yzerman because, again, best goal scorer of the draft, best goal scorer in the history of the program.
A year ago, that was 1-2. Celebrini, Yzerman, and they get both. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah. So
San Jose Shark fans love us. They have to.
Yeah. You're welcome, fuckers.
You're welcome. You just got Celebrini, Yzerman, and Addison. Not necessarily in that order.
Yes. No, Addison in that order. Addison, big gap. Another gap.
Is that gap their height or
over just hockey player and person? It's just Addison. Addison.
Who would Dean Evison prefer to have a beer with?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Yzerman to San Jose at 14. Steve Yzerman picking at 15. I'm not just saying it because they're the two that are left from your list, but Yzerman feels like the guy that's going to take MBN or Solberg. Or he's going to aggressively reach even further for the top Swedish-born defenseman and just go Leo Saulin Wallenius for some reason.
Yeah, it's for me. It's between Bronseg, Nygaard, or different guy. Insane upside. Trevor Connolly, human highlight reel.
Could also do double duty as highlight reel and toothpick.
Yeah, there you go.
Who's it going to be? Again, channel your inner Steve Yzerman.
I'll say Connolly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, legit human highlight reel. One of the most skilled players in this draft. Like, without the baggage that he carries, he'd be a top 10 pick, no doubt. There's no baggage there. I'm not even going to go into that because it's
good.
Because people that don't know anything about the situation are the loudest about it. So,
isn't that everything?
Yeah, pretty much. He absolutely eviscerated the USHL this year as a draft eligible. Like 52 games, scored 31 goals, 47 assists for 78 points. But with him, again, like the hands are unbelievable. His mobility, him on his edges, like he can snipe, he can dangle you in front of the net. Like he is legitimately unbelievable. One of the most talented players in the draft. Like kind of reminds me of almost, I think there's even more upside in him, like a Jordan Kyrou type player where like he just can kind of do everything offensively and just like burn you. Yeah, I could see Connolly being the pick at 13 as well. I think they would probably just be leaning the profile of Seneke or Bronseg Nygaard. Like Connolly, he's going to have to work on the defense. I think he's going to eviscerate Kovalchuk. He's going to Providence next year, Trevor Connolly is. And I think he's going to be a problem in that conference. But again, like his highlight reel is comical. Like every time he's touching the puck, he's looking to make plays. The thing with him, he's going to have to, the decision making is going to have to improve. Like specifically, of course, the final memory all these scouts have of him playing hockey is him being an idiot and getting ejected from the gold medal game in the U18s. And Canada immediately scored. I think they scored 3 on that 5-minute power play to win the gold as he was ejected for a fucking stupid hit that was absolutely like fucking ejection worthy. So that's the stuff that he's going to have to knock out. He's going to have to figure out how to use his teammates a little bit more. There's times where he just wants to do it himself. But I mean, when you look at the numbers, like he more assists than goals, like he can do it, obviously. But again, one of the most just naturally talented players in this draft. So I look at Steve Yzerman, and I think he would absolutely take a swing on a player like that. And like, again, if it was just talent alone and we didn't have any baggage with him, he'd probably be a top 10, no doubt pick.
It's fair enough. So then we're at 16, St. Louis Blues. Still some great options. Who do they take?
Have I sent Bronseg Nygaard anywhere?
Nope.
Okay, I'll send him to St. Louis. Again, just feels like the right spot. Like, first of all, I'm not letting him. I actually think he might go later than this just because there's a question about the upside. But I think he fits what they want to do so well, just given the fact that, like, specifically, even if he doesn't pop offensively, he sucks to play against. Like, he's the best forecheck in the draft. He might be the smartest player in the draft. Like, and he's got the shot. Like, if they can, like, encourage him to just use his offensive tools more often, and more willingly. I think there's some decent numbers in there. Do I necessarily see him as a lock to be like a top 6 winger? No, probably not. But I mean, he might be like a Markstrom type. So at the same time, like, does he have the foot speed? No. Does he have like when he gets like when the guy in their development or whatever, like, will he be a top 6 guy? I don't know. But like, I mean, he's gonna play. He could probably play next year.
Are you trying to make me a Blues fan? Are you trying to make me a Blues fan? They're gonna have a line of Rick Dvorsky centering MBN and Jimmy Snuggerud. Like, I'm gonna be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. It also wouldn't shock me if they went the route of like Solberg, just because I look at the players that they took last couple of years. Like, I still cannot believe that they took Lindsay in the first round last year. So actually, that would make me think. I wonder if they'll end up taking like Alphonse Frey. Although I think he's probably like his stock has fallen since literally like when did we do the smart scouting? Like March maybe. Like, he's just been like not great. Like, it's weird. I still love the player, but like that also kind of fits what they've been doing the last couple of years. But I think they look at like their forward group, and even if like MBN doesn't hit as like a top 6 scoring winger, which I mean he's not going to be a scoring winger, but like you've still got Buchnevich, Kyrou, Robert Thomas, like Snuggerud, Simone Robertson, like they've got plenty of guys there, like Jake Neighbors, young player, who's a stud. So we'll see.
Okay, fair. So we get to 17. We get out of the group of non-playoff participants. Now we are to, well, the least significant of the playoff participants, Washington Capitals. Who do they take?
I think this might be a good spot. Oh. I'm between Stian Solberg and Liam Greentree. Let's go Solberg to Washington. It feels right. Big, mean, plays a very NHL sound defensive game already. He's shown offensive upside before, but he kind of fits the profile of player that Washington likes. So again, like a huge rise for him the past like month or two. And I think the World Championship solidified the fact that he is the first round pick. It's always tough to gauge that league that he's playing in. So it's hard to know exactly how good that competition is. But again, he's been playing against pros all year. Then he goes to the World Championship. It's like, all right, now you're actually going to go up against NHL players and like legitimately like shut down some of the real solid NHL players with Canada and USA. And he finishes that tournament with Norway as a fucking, I think he was even plus minus, or maybe might have been like a +1 or 2, which is like actually impressive considering they were getting like annihilated. So, yeah, I kind of feel like this might be the spot. I mean, like last year, was it last year? 2 years ago, they picked up one of my favorites in Ryan Chesley, another real solid right shot defenseman. But yeah, no, I think they might look at Solberg and kind of fit the profile. So we're going Solberg to Washington.
All right. Then we are back for double duty at 18 for the Chicago Blackhawks, who already took Artyom Levshunov from Michigan State. How do they follow it up here at 18? Even though we all kind of assume that Chicago is going to try and move this one up from 18, but as things sit now, who do they take?
Assuming this is the spot, I think they might end up going Liam Greentree. He's big. He's a left shot, likes to play on the right though. Just insane upside offensively. Again, he played on a complete dog shit Windsor Spitfire team in the OHL, and he still put up over 90 points. and it's been like, of all the guys who over the past like month or two, they've like fallen in a lot of rankings. It feels like Liam Greentree has just been a victim of circumstance where, like, obviously Windsor, like, he did nothing different the whole year other than, like, all he did was light up the fucking score sheet on a terrible hockey team. Like, everything by himself. I think they had one other player who was, like, over a point per game. So what he did was just, like, legitimately insanely impressive. But he didn't, like, again, like, his play didn't drop off. But they don't make the playoffs, so people don't see him as much. Then at the U18s, he ends up playing in their bottom six and isn't able to make a huge impact just given that lineup. And the fact that, like, when he goes to U18s for the first time all year, he's playing with top players. So, like, he's not able to, like, or he's not encouraged really to do the stuff that he's doing in Windsor in terms of, like, just, like, making offense for himself. So that was, I think, an adjustment. But again, like, I still think he played well. I think he was just under a point per game there too, but didn't get a ton of minutes. So, like, he naturally started sliding. But if you're Chicago, you're looking at that offensive upside and you have him, like, potentially eventually playing with a guy like Bedard. You've also got other wingers there who are solid, like Gavin Hayes, Sam Savoy, Landon Slaggert, Lucas Reichel. Like, they've got a ton of younger players too, who I think, like, now that they've built out that back end, they take Levshun of it too. They go for a forward here, and Connolly. I was just reading Connolly's name. Greentree might fit exactly the profile of a player that they like.
All right, and the most guaranteed pick to be traded, whether it's before the selection or within the next year, Vegas Golden Knights pick at 19. Which player will they be trading away in the next year or so?
Man. Who is still sitting there? Going back and forth between centers and D-men. I wonder if they take a swing at center position and take Michael Hague from the Chicago Steel.
Okay.
He's incredible, man. Like, first of all, what he went through off the ice, and then, you know, he has that shoulder injury. Slow-ish start to the year, obviously, as to be expected. And then, like, probably a little earlier than halfway, like just before the halfway point, starts lighting up and just never slowed down. Like, he's got size, he skates well, insanely skilled. He can score. He's a playmaker. Like, he kind of just does everything for you. Again, just lit it up in the USHL with 75 points in 54 games. He will never play for the Golden Knights because they should have traded everybody. But I think, you know, they look at, like, last year, they go out and they move a guy like David Edstrom in that Hurdle deal. So I wonder if they take a swing on another center, knowing that, like, he'll be a few years before he's even NHL ready, / a few years to, you know, move that pick. But he's got super high upside. I like Michael Hague a lot, so they're going to go out and they're going to take Michael Hague.
Love that. Who is the player most likely to never be allowed to have facial hair after being selected by Lou Lamoriello at 20 for the New York Islanders?
I'm going to keep the center train rolling here. I believe he's headed to North Dakota next year. Another player I like a lot, Sasha Boisvert, from Muskegon, the USHL. Solid player. Like, he's a goal scorer. Like, he's got an absolute hammer of a one-timer, but he also has, like, just a sick wrist shot. You know, he can score from distance, but he also score from in tight. What are you laughing at now?
He has an absolute hammer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna move on. But then he's also like just a dynamic playmaker. Like he can pass. Like he has every kind of pass in his arsenal. Like some of the hook passes he was pulling off this year for like assist was just like a joke, like in transition. But he's also just super mean. I think they're gonna love the physicality. I think he's also, he's 6'2", so he's basically 7 feet tall. Lou's gonna love that. But I see the upside in him. I like him a lot, so I'm going to say Boisvert to the island.
All right, then we've got the LA Kings, also probably in need of a center if they're moving on from PLD already.
Now this is like the point in the draft too where I'm like, I have no fucking idea what they're thinking. But I mean, you look at they're still in their pool too. They've got plenty of center as well. Plus, like we've seen the breakout in Quentin Byfield finally happen. Trevor Moore is just like nasty now, so that's interesting. Phil Dedeaux's there for a long time. Adrian Kempe is an absolute beast, so they might still be fine the center position. So. Let me pull up their back end now. They might take a swing on let me take a big swing here. Adam Jiricek. Pack your shit. Head to the airport. Go to Los Angeles. I still think he ends up going high. Or not, maybe like mid first round, like right around the 20s. Again, like we've seen the upside in the past. This year is obviously brutal, just given the fact that he barely played with that injury. But before that, everyone had him projected top 12 or so. So I'll say they're going to take the swing, right shot defenseman, Adam Jiricek. I like him a lot. I still think there's some upside there, even though he missed a ton of time. So they go out and they start replenishing the back end there. And a guy like Jiricek.
This just gives me all of the vibes of Mike Richards being traded to the Kings, Jeff Carter being traded to Columbus, and like Carter just being depressed visiting Mike Richards on the beach. Like, oh man, if only. And you know that David Jiricek will end up playing with his brother Adam in LA.
Yeah, there you go. Obviously.
All right. Number 22, Nashville Predators. Who do they take?
Ooh, I've liked their past couple of drafts too. Let me pull that up. In theory, you'd think that I would have the list in order up. I don't.
Never.
I'm like, who the fuck is picking next?
Did they not draft the most recent transfer for Minnesota Golden Gophers?
Yeah, yeah. They had Matthew Wood last year. They also picked up another one of my favorites, Felix Nilsson. They've also got the guy with the coolest name in recent history, Gunnar Wolf-Fontaine. They drafted him a couple years ago. Last year, they also picked up Kalen Lind, another favorite who from the WHL, mean, super high upside left winger. So let me see what they've got on the back end. Oh, I forgot they took Melendijk in the first round last year. He's got some legit upside. They've got Ryan Ufko. Oh, yeah, Matches there. God. Oh, I'm going back and forth on a few. So guys that are in contention here, Igor Chernyshov, Alphonse Fry, and where is he? I just had it up. Oh, a big swing and a guy like Jet Luchenko. Man, I'm going defenseman. I'm going to say Alphonse Frey. They love their Euros. They love their Swedes. Again, Frey, his stock probably went down a little bit second half of the season. But I mean, I still see a guy that should be in your middle pair, like so good in transition. The only like real glaring weak spot for me is like in the offensive zone when play slows down. Like, he's not a guy that's looking to make a ton of plays. He's probably just looking to move the puck. So there's like kind of like limits the offensive upside, but I think there's enough there, and he's a smart enough player that you can coach a little bit more into him. But in terms of like the transition defense, solid. In zone D is solid. He's not going to be like abandoning his position to go chase hits or anything, but like he could probably become a little bit more physical as well. Again, like he does it on and off, a little bit inconsistent that way, but I still think it's there. So I'm going to go Alphonse Frey. I think he can pretty much fit into that anywhere in that on their back end. And I still think he's a first round pick. So we're going Alphonse Frey to Nashville. Who the fuck is next?
23, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, fuck them. Who cares? Next. They're not picking. Fuck them. To be honest with you, I have no idea what the fuck the Leafs are going to do. I could see them. Actually, you know what? Yeah, they'll probably the past couple of years they've taken swings in the first round with some fun players. Like last year, they went and got Easton Count at the end of the first round, who everyone questioned. I think during the live stream, like during the draft, I was like, hey, that's like a big swing, but I totally get it. And what does he do this year? He is, I believe, was he? Oh, no, he wasn't player of the year. He might have been actually, but he was phenomenal for London, especially in the playoffs. Good Lord, was he good. They're probably going to break my heart and do something fun. And they're going to go out. They're going to take Jet Luchenko, undersized center, most likely not going to be center at the NHL level. I think he's going to be a middle six energy guy, but with legit offensive upside. He's a ton of fun. He works harder than every single player on the ice. So, like, easy guy to root for. Leafs fans hate their own players, so I'm sure they'll hate him because he's short. But you know what? They're going to go out and make a fun pit. Jet Luchenko in the running for
all name team consideration for
first team all name, like, you know, first team all name potential there. So Jet Luchenko, fuck it, let's see where he goes. Craig Button had him mocked to I think Minnesota actually.
What?
So there you go. Yeah, he had him high. Yeah.
All right, fun. 24, Colorado Avalanche.
Ooh. I'm going to go out and I'm going to say Andrew Basha might be the pick forward for the Medicine Hat Tigers. Slippery skill, like in transition, makes you look silly. Really fun to watch him play with Caden Lindstrom. Like, Lindstrom's just a fucking bull in a china shop, and Basha is just like another great name, just a phenomenal name. But he's so fun. He fits a lot of what Colorado likes. He's so good in transition. He plays so fast. So I'll say Andrew Basha. I think there's a ton of upside there. Plenty of people question him just given the fact that he's not the biggest player in the world, but I don't think Colorado's going to care about that at all. So I'll say Andrew Basha.
Nice. Now we got double duty again. Ottawa Senators, who at 7 overall, you had them selecting Sam Dickinson. Who do they go with here at 25?
Yeah, we're going to have them go out and take Igor Chernyshov, left wing for Dynamo Moscow. He's got top skill. Like, some of the plays he made this year were funny, like just like dicing through guys. Like, the thing that I think he would have gone way higher if he wasn't playing in Russia, because there were so many games where, again, like, he got called up to the KHL to either play 1 or 2 shifts or just hang out on the bench. In league play, like, he basically can't, like, no one could really touch him. But again, like, he's so good at both ends of the ice. Like, he took shifts at center as well. Again, he's going to be a wing in the NHL and realistically, like, plays mostly on the wing now. But I like his upside a ton. And again, I like the way that he plays, just because of the fact he can be effective in all 3 zones. So we go out, we give him Igor Chernyshov. I think they like that pick a lot. And yeah.
Man, can you imagine if Andrew Basha, who just got picked 2 spots ago, fell to 26 here for the Montreal Canadiens? Just throw him right back out there with Caden Lindstrom.
Oh, God.
That'd be fun. But who do they take here at 26? You can think out loud. If there's a couple names you're considering.
I gotta pull up their sheet again. Like they're fucking loaded everywhere. I kind of want, just because it's their second pick, I don't think they'll do it, given the fact that they've already got an undersized left shot defenseman with a lead upside. I kind of want Kivi Hardy to go in the first round still. And I could honestly see them doing it if they didn't have like Hudson there already, but I don't think that's going to happen. You know what? They love their Americans, especially lately. They're going to go out and take Teddy Stiga, left wing for the USN TDP, who put up 79 points in 61 games for the program this year in a limited role, like second power play, like third, second line, not playing with guys like Yzerman and the other like top guys there. Like had to do a lot of it on his own. Again, the knock on him is he is small. Like that is the only knock. But again, like all three zones, he's effective. He's a buzzsaw. He doesn't stop moving. He's tenacious on the puck. Some of the plays that he was making at the U18s too were comical. I think he played his way into the first round. And I think that he's a player that kind of fits their overall mold of just like he can play anywhere in their lineup. Like they've already got some of the guys at the top end. So he's a guy that can play up and down your lineup and be effective. So I like Teddy Stiga to Montreal, and it's going to make me die.
So now at 27, with Don Waddell gone, do we change the philosophy for the Carolina Hurricanes, or are they taking a Russian?
They could, you know what? No, they're gonna stick with it. They're gonna keep this going, and I love this pick a lot. Nikita Artemonov from Torpedo plays with Yurov, plays with plays with Firstov. That's what I meant. Plays with Salayev, but he was real fucking good in the KHL. Like I'm telling you, at Smart Scott, we just had our final rankings. He was number 11, I think. We have him way higher than everybody. We're the only ones that had him that high.
When you say we, like how high do you personally have him?
Not that high, but around 20, I would probably. Okay. But he is really like. I actually had to go back and watch the tape again from his shifts with Torpedo. He was legit. Like he's got game-breaking potential in terms of the offense. And I mean, he put up. Let me pull up the numbers again. Yeah, he put up 23 points in 54 games in the KHL this year, which is like so good for a draft eligible. Like again, these are guys that don't usually play. And he was in their top 6. He scored big goals. He made plays for them. Was a big-time player for them. So they're going to keep that train rolling. And again, I have him right around 18, 19, 20. Everyone else at Smart Scouting has him like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just because of how well he played in the KHL and like the game-breaking offense that he showed. And I think it actually fits, again, like what Carolina's been doing a little bit. If he was an inch taller, it would be like, everyone would be saying, "Oh shit, they may have just done it again with a late first round pick that just like is probably going to hit." And you're banking on the long term upside there. So Nikita Artemonov, keep the Russian train rolling with Carolina.
Fun. We got another double duty. Calgary Flames, after the disappointment, quote unquote, of drafting Berkeley Catton, who do they take here at 28?
I'm looking at, one guy I'm looking at, I'm wondering if I feel like he probably will go late first round. Western Canada guy, Tarek Parashak, looking at him from the Prince George Cougars. Also in the running here would be on the back end, a guy like EJ Emery, who I think they would love. He might be the most athletic player in the draft. So he's fucking huge. There's not a ton of offensive upside, but so many of these outlets like have him in the first round. Like you know how many goals he scored this year with the program? 0. He did not score any goals. 16 assists in 50 something games, I think. 60 games. But like defensively, an absolute fucking beast. He is huge. He is strong, and he's freakishly athletic. Like, he was at the top of the charts, I think, in almost every category of the combine. So, like, given how well he moves at that size, how solid he is defensively, how physical he plays, I might just say fucking give him EJ Emery. I'll let him go first round. I think it's just a tad high for me personally, but I totally get, like, I think his floor is number 5'4", but a guy that he's playing 20, 25 minutes a night still, and getting all the hard matchups and making life super easy, or at least easier for the rest of the defensemen. And I think he's, like, in terms of his offense, like, he's not going to be putting up points at all, but, like, again, he's another guy that, like, easy transitions. He's going to break the puck out for you again after he wins it back. Again, he checks all the box defensively, like any situation. So I'll say I'm going to mock EJ Emery there. I feel like they like their big fucking mean shutdown team, man.
Fair. This is the fun one. This is where we get to galaxy brain things a bit, because if history's shown us anything, it's that picking late does not impact the Dallas Stars, and they're going to have some superstar in a couple of years, the way that their team scouts and drafts. Who are we going to look back on in like 3 or 4 years and be like, Dallas got him at 29?
Man. Oh, wait. I got to pull their pool again. The fact that they even have a first-round pick makes me sick. Like, how do they do this? How do they fucking do this? They're so good. They made all those additions. They didn't go fucking first. God damn it. Fuck them. Depth chart. There we go. All right. So look at, like, last year, or the past 2 years, they've taken some defensemen there, like Liam Bichsel, big, mean, Swiss kid. I think he was in the AHL this year, was solid. Almost had to get called up into the NHL in the playoffs, which would have been crazy. But then they've also got guys like Aaron Minetnian at BC, who is real solid. I think that's going to be another pick that they made. I think it was a 4th rounder. Like, Jesus goddamn Christ. Like, such a solid player for them. So I'm wondering if they keep the run on defensemen going and they end up being the ones that take Alphonse Frey. Like, again, fits a ton of what they like to do. And I think he actually, in terms of, like, their overall profile, like, they've got guys obviously like Heiskanen, they've got Harley there with, like, pretty high upside in terms of the younger defensemen. Even like Niels Lundqvist, who towards the end of the year, or this year and really in the playoffs, really didn't play as much. I think Frey can kind of fill that role now. And, like, you know, guys like Minetnian's going to be solid defensive guy who can really play in most situations, but he's not going to be a guy that's going to put up a ton of points. Bichsel's not going to put up a ton of points, but he's going to be basically a better version of Yanni Hakanpää, where he's just big, he's mean, he hurts you and shuts you down defensively. So I actually think Alphonse Frey kind of fits. He's like somewhere in the middle where, like, there's a little bit more offensive upside. He has all the mobility that they like their defensemen to have. And again, he can play in any situation. I think there's a pretty high upside, just like a solid middle pair defenseman that can play in any role. If he can be coached up a little bit in terms of the offense, I think that helps them even more. So I think Alphonse Frey might be a solid selection for them, especially given, like, some of the prospects they've got coming up front. So I like Alphonse Frey to the Dallas Stars.
Okay. Then we get to the New York Fugazis, the New York Rangers. Who do they take here at 30?
Pull them up here again. All right. So last year, I can't remember who they took the first round last year. Did they have a pick in the first round last year? I don't think they did. Fuck.
I'll check with Micheletti quick. Hang on.
Yeah, give him a call. Live, join the pod live. It's interesting. They kind of, I could see them picking in any of these positions, to be honest with you. Like, who are my guys?
Riveting stuff.
This is like, again, this is just such a weird, like, this point in the draft, I'm like, what the fuck? There's so many like high upside guys that are there, but like, so guys, I'm going in between. If I want to go centers, I'm looking at someone like Cole Baudouin from Barry Colts. Just another solid, just 3-zone center. He's shown some offensive upside, defensively solid, moves really well, kind of like just super reliable. Another guy would be like Dean Letourneau, who's probably going to go in the first round. He's 6'7". Going to BC next year. That's gonna be a real trial by fire. He's playing like it's St. Andrews, like high school hockey in Canada. Like, so who knows what like these fucking numbers mean? But I mean,
yeah,
the numbers are legit comical. Like, I gotta pull them up again. It was like whatever league this was, 14 games, you had like 14 goals. Like, it's just like, but so it's tough. I haven't even watched a ton of them. I just, from when you do watch him, like you see him just like popping off in terms of the skill of the offense. But like, you're also like, yeah, like he's bigger, more athletic, better than literally every player in this fucking league by a long shot. You know what? Fuck it. We're going Dean Letourneau, given the fact that they've already got some guys that are 6'6", 6'7". We'll go Dean Letourneau. Come on down. There's legit upside there. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does at BC next year, especially because he was supposed to go in 2 years, not next year, but he's making the jump given the fact that they've had some guys leave. So Dean Letourneau, New York Rangers.
All right. And now is when you have to make your official pick for the remainder of the Stanley Cup Finals. Who's going to win, Edmonton or Florida?
Florida can't choke this away, can they? I think they can't. No way. But McDavid might fucking do this shit. Fuck me. I don't know. I'll say Florida. You can't. They're not going to beat them 4 times in a row. So Edmonton, congratulations on the Stanley Cup.
Wait. You just said they couldn't beat them 4 times in a row, which means
yes,
Florida would win the Stanley Cup.
Right. I am never right about anything.
Oh, got it. That's what we're going with.
So I'm picking Florida, so congratulations, Edmonton.
Sure. For this exercise, who do the Edmonton Oilers select at 31?
Who did they take last year? Okay. All right. Okay, so they're another team that has needs pretty much everywhere. I feel like he's probably got to go first round. I'll send Emil Hemming, right winger from TPS in Liga Finland, to Edmonton. Again, he's big. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3". He's got to move. Oh, there you go. Now, Emil Hemming. I forgot about that guy. Yeah, there you go. So we're going Emil Hemming. He's shown some legit offensive upside. He's a sniper. He can score. I think he scored in 3 of his first games in Liga this year. And then, realistically, this big time performance this year started at the Holinka, where he was by far Finland's best player, and was just like lighting up the score sheet. Then he goes to the U20 league in Finland and put up like hat tricks in 3 of the first 5 games, including a natural hat trick, and then the OT winner when they came back from a 3-0 deficit, win 4-3 in overtime. Then he goes to Liga, scores in his first game, I think scores in his second and fourth game. So he's shown that he can play. Again, he played like 40 games this year in the Finnish Liga, so I feel like he'll probably be a first-round pick. I think they'll like the size skill combo and the fact that he can be a sniper. So there you go. We are sending him to Edmonton. The other guy that I was taking there just for like the defensive, like the transition game that they just like don't have outside of like fucking Bouchard was like I like Dominic Badinka, but we're gonna stick with the forward group and take Emil Hemming.
Okay, that's interesting. And then I'm trying to even remember who has Florida's pick this year. Let's see here. It looks like no way.
Did they move it?
They've moved every first round pick. What are you talking about?
True.
Which one? Oh no! It goes to the Philly Scumbags, part of the Claude Giroux deal.
Oh, that's right.
Oh boy. So yeah, Philadelphia Flyers. Who do they take at 32?
I like this kid. I want him to go first round. Will they agree? No idea. Ryder Ritchie. He's a triple threat.
What you were going to say. All right.
He's a triple threat on offense. He's scoring. He makes plays. Like, he's such a good fucking skater, too. Another guy that was just playing on a terrible, terrible Prince Albert team. They ended up making the playoffs, though, and he actually played really well in the playoffs. And he put up 7 points in 5 games or so, something like that. But at the beginning of the year, they were fucking horrible, though. But just under a point per game this year, missed some time due to injury. But, like, I think at the beginning of the year, he's probably close to, like, a mid-first round pick. Not mid-round. But, again, like, offensively, just, like, triple threat. So fun to watch when he's going and he's healthy. And the fact that he can play at pace as well. Like, he's just a constant scoring threat. So I'm going to keep Ryder Ritchie in the first round. I love the kid. And he's going to pack his shit and go to Philly.
I really thought you were going to go draft son here.
I'm not going to pick favorites, even though I just did.
Oh, is he a draft son?
No, I just said I want him to go in the first round. So
well, I know.
I like this kid.
When you said I want him to go in the first round, I immediately thought we were going draft son. I assume you know which draft son I'm referring to.
No.
Three names. Okay, maybe he's not a draft son. I thought for sure one of your draft sons was going to be Leo Salin Wallenius.
No, he's not. Great name.
Okay,
Great
fair enough.
Name. First team all name.
Well, shows what I know. That's okay. Next week, final stream before draft day, which we will be doing our annual draft stream, and all of us might die because it's on a Friday night and there's no repercussions the following day for us getting too drunk. So Friday's going to get a little rowdy, and we will be live starting at 5:30 Central, so 6:30 for UZ, which I'm sure I'll remind you 7 times next week. But for the stream on Wednesday leading up to it, we will go over your official draft sons. We're going to give our official all-name team rankings, and probably just any last-minute questions people have for mailbag.
We should do a final mailbag.
And I mean, probably got to talk about the most likely teams to make trades, too. That'll be a fun topic. And, I mean, I guess we're going to have to talk about who won the Stanley Cup since it's not over yet, but odds are that'll be nothing too extensive, just how good is Connor McDavid, and move on. Right. We did it. We got through a mock draft that Z did a lot of homework, had a lot of preparation and notes.
It's not going to be accurate at all.
successful, effective. A couple of people are still watching, so that's what we aim for.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else.
Awesome.
We're about to hit the dog shit for sports summer. Oh God.
Yeah, don't be shocked if the first week or two after the draft we give Z some reprieve and don't talk about things right away. We'll see though. He might come in losing his mind over free agency or want to like recap things about the draft because some 5th rounder that's going to blow everyone's mind. But there's probably going to be a week or two off there in July.
Yeah. I'm going to become a big MMA guy.
Be careful. Isha is just going to like pop through the door behind you.
I know. Like, hi.
It's like Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls. You just say, I'm going to get into fighting and Isha's there.
He's just like, you want to fight right now? You want to fucking fight right now?
Oh, shit. No, that's not wrestling. Oh, all right. Well, that's it then. We'll see you all next week for a couple final pieces before the draft, and hopefully everyone will be tuning in for the live stream of the draft on Friday, the 28th. It'll be a banger.